You'll be able to use the app to network with other people that are attending today's meeting. Next slide, please.
Have we started recording already?
Oh,
Not
maybe
yet.
not.
Give me
Oh,
2
I'm
seconds.
sorry.
Melinda, you got to wait till we start recording.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Still got a minute or two.
Okay.
Okay, I'm about to hit the record button. Boom.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Please sign on to our app. You can download the app if you don't have it at the App Store or Google Play. We, 1 Million Cups Fairfax, get credit for everybody that signs in. And the other advantage is you can later network with people that are at the meeting, and you can see who's at the meeting on your app. Next slide, please. 1 Million Cups is about entrepreneurship, community, and education. Next slide, please. Our mission is to lower obstacle of access to education, resources, and connections for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. Our key pillars are, first of all, we do presentations, not pitches. We're authentic connections, not networking, and we are run for the community by the community. Next slide. Our culture is a safe, supportive culture. We're all volunteer-led. We are comprehensive for organizers, presenters, and attendees. And we advocate presenter pipeline together as a community. Next slide. Our weekly event, we bring together entrepreneurs and Fairfax County community over coffee and connections. We meet in over 160 chapters nationally at the same time. We're a mastermind organization. We're not here to sharpshoot, and we're safe and supportive. So we ask that you please go to our Facebook page and share our share Facebook Live right now. The URL is 1MC Fairfax, and that's for Facebook and LinkedIn. Please provide feedback in the Zoom chat and share our content online. We're all here to help you. These are our organizers: Danelle Johns, Jen Dalton, Tony Bennett, Myosha Mendes, John Yu, myself, Melinda Sigel, John Ruttenberg, Ronetta Jones, Justin Wilson, and Russ McIntosh. Next slide, please. Our sponsors this month are Office Evolution and Boss Actions. I know I saw Sylvia. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Hi, good morning. My name is Sylvia Ferguson, and I'm with Office Evolution Tyson's Corner. At Office Evolution, we provide private offices, conference rooms, and co-working space, but also virtual services such as phone service and a professional business address. So if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur and you want to get started for low cost but good quality, reach out to me. I'll give you a tour. I give you more information, and I would love to discuss things, and I will take care of you. My name is Sylvia, and I'm with Office Evolution Tyson's Corner.
Thanks, Sylvia. Is Talmar here from Boss Actions?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Yeah. Oh, yay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Talmar Anderson with Boss Actions. We're a hiring strategy and boss best practices firm. So we help overworked business owners and entrepreneurs understand how they can stop making the same hiring mistakes over and over again so they can finally build their own kick-ass team to grow without burning themselves out. recently, in fact, yesterday, I was speaking to a mastermind of realtors and loan officer owners, and we were discussing clarity on what we should or shouldn't do. And so I posed this question: do you consider yourself a control freak? Do you feel like there's no chance that you would be great at delegating because you think you have issues with letting go? I got to tell you, boss, that's not it. It's because you do not trust the people that you've hired for your team. I promise you, when you have the right person in the right job, you can't wait to give them the task. You literally can't get it off your desk fast enough, because not only do they do it well, sometimes they do it better. So if you feel like you have control issues or delegation problems, I'd love to have a conversation about how we can surround you with the right kind of people. Thank you very much, Melinda.
Thank you. Next slide, please. Bunker Labs today is our community partner in celebration of Veterans Day. I know it's not Karen. Who is here from Bunker Labs to talk?
We have Joe.
Joe, I'm sorry. Joe, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today. My name is Joe Himpelman. I'm a U.S. Army veteran and a small business owner myself, entrepreneur here in the local DMV area with Assault Forward. We're an online e-commerce shop at assaultforward.us. But I'm here today in my volunteer capacity as a city leader for Bunker Labs. Bunker Labs is a national nonprofit, and it aims to empower military veterans and military spouses to start their own business and to help them find the quickest path to entrepreneurial success. And so we do that through 30 chapters nationwide, as well as a national online virtual community. Of course, we're all kind of virtual this year, but we still are organized by city chapters with volunteer city leaders like myself. Karen and Jeff are my peers here in DC, and several of our current veterans in residence cohort members are on today, like Barrett, James, Renetta. And that is a partnership with WeWork. So Bunker Labs and WeWork have come together to provide 6 months of rent-free office space, as well as a cohort of similar entrepreneurs going through the same kind of journey that they are, whether it's from hopefully a little bit past the ideation stage, but somewhere in the early days of their startup, and gives them a chance to kind of bounce ideas off each other and work together. And it's just a great environment. So cohort 20 Bravo is currently in session here in DC, and that will end December 31st. And then we'll welcome the next group January through June of 2021. So Bunker Labs, check us out, bunkerlabs.org. It is a nonprofit, like I mentioned, and we'd love to have your involvement and support. There's a lot of different ways to get involved with the organization, whether it's locally here in the DMV or beyond. So tap into the network, tap into some of the current cohort members of the Veterans in Residence program. And again, we appreciate everyone's support here on this Veterans Day and all year long.
And Bunker Labs also is a trusted and faithful partner with Kauffman Foundation, which is our parent organization. So.
Great. Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Tony. Next slide, please. How our meeting works. Russ McIntosh is our moderator this month. Please make sure that your mic is on mute. And then when it's your time to participate in the discussion, you will turn the mic back on. Use the hand wave icon in the chat to announce to Russ that you have a question, or type your question into the chat for Russ. So when the moderator calls your name, please unmute, or you can hold down the spacebar key and just talk. Say your name first, who you are with, and then ask your question or make your comments. And then when you're done, please put your microphone back on. Next slide, please. So I want to welcome today our presenter, Barrett Bogue, president and founder of Evocati. Evocati is a full-service marketing consulting firm that helps Fortune 100 companies and nonprofits who want to target the military-connected community as a new profit center. Their expertise includes strategic marketing, communications, and program management. So let's welcome Barrett.
Hi,
Barrett,
thank you
you're
all.
up.
Thanks, Melinda. I appreciate that. Thank you to the 1 Million Cups team, organization for inviting us to present today. I really want this to be a helpful dialogue, especially given the significance of today as Veterans Day. Really want to have an opportunity to kind of showcase the value of the military connected community and how Evocati works inside that unique community. So next slide, please. How can we become the agency of record for Fortune 100 companies who want to target the military connected community as a new profit center? So first off, what do we mean by military connected community? Really including the 22 million veterans who live in the United States. They around 1.7 or 2 million service members, as well as the many millions of family members. So we kind of include all of them in the military connected community. Next slide, please. So the problem that we solve at Evocati as a professional service firm is to provide services to businesses and nonprofits that want to realize their potential inside the military connected community. So we have strategic marketing, communications, and program management. There's really 3 pillars that we operate on right now. There's the consulting side of the company, where we provide insight and expertise, planning support, et cetera. There's the agency of record, where we can provide strategic communication insight. We can help you market your program and service to the military connected community. And then finally, there's the research side. That's the market survey research in where can we help position your brand within the military connected community. Next slide. So we were founded in 2018. This was after a career, 15 years in the federal and nonprofit sectors, working at the Department of Veterans Affairs and Student Veterans of America. I really heard a very similar problem from the dozens, if not hundreds of organizations that wanted to partner with us. Was we really struggle to connect and reach the military connected community. And so when I heard about that struggle constantly, I thought there might be a business opportunity there. And so that's when we founded Evocati in 2018. 2020, we continued to grow out our client base. As Joe just so eloquently introduced, we are a member of the Bunker Labs VIR team in DC. In 2021, we have plans to enter the federal contracting sector, as well as to expand the number of employees who work at Evocati. And then 2022, a long-term intent to raise capital and enter the business-to-business research sector. More than happy to explore that later. Next slide. Current customers, right now, I would argue we're probably over-leveraged in the nonprofit serving military connected community. Our clients primarily come from that sector, and it probably has to do with the fact that I founded the company after working in the nonprofit sector. We also have clients and customers from higher education. This would be institutions that want to increase the number of student veterans who enroll on campus. And then finally, we have the for-profit business-to-business side, which is somewhat new, but also growing and helping businesses connect and reach the military connected community. Next slide. So I talked a little bit about this. So we offer consulting services. We have, right now we have 1 employee, a communication specialist. But what we do have is the ability to scale and expand based on the client's project. We do have a series of who we call ambassadors, and these are part-time consultants that we can bring on board for each project. For agency of record work, that really is in positioning your company and your brand within the military connected community. We have connections across the publication industry that serves the military connected community as well. And then research and doing market surveys, and in terms of where can you best position your brand in the military connected community. And then finally, in terms of our client avatars, we have three. We have the nonprofit executive that knows she wants to make an impact in the military connected community, but doesn't really know how. We have higher education executives that know and seek to recruit more student veterans on campus, but don't know how. And then we have think tanks who have a project that is military specific and would like to have the expertise on hand to help build out their deliverable. Next slide. So what really makes us different, if you've not heard of the concept of the military civilian divide, I've got it illustrated here. So you have the needs of the private sector, and we'll just say the civilian community, the needs and perception of the military on one side. Then you have the military veteran needs and perception of the community on the other side. There's a gap in understanding between those two. That is the gap in the area that we operate in. So normally the approach is a company will hire a currently serving or retired veteran to bridge that gap. Our business proposition is that we can be your company's fractional director of military and veteran affairs. So you can hire that one person and pay them a salary, or you can pay about a third of that and hire the expertise that Evocati offers and receive the same level of service. All of our clients say they are very likely to recommend Evocati to another colleague or organization after we've completed a project with them. Next slide. What makes us unique really is in the services and the compendium of services that we offer. We've got some of our clients, current and past, listed here and how they've taken advantage of the types of services that we offer. I won't dive too much into that. Next slide, please. Our competitors and other choices. What I wanted to do was show you kind of a variety of who we compete with. We have the large cap marketing and consulting firms. You've got Booz Allen, Deloitte. What I like to say is Evocati is your boutique Booz Allen in reaching the military connected community. We're more cost efficient, much more agile, and we have the knowledge base to help you do that. The Commit Foundation is another one. They're really experts as a nonprofit company in building out corporate education for serving the military connected community. Again, in comparison, we're more cost efficient, knowledgeable, and agile than the Commit Foundation. Alira Incorporated is another client, is another competitor that helps connect military talent with companies. And realizing that, what we ended up doing is exploring a partnership, which we officially launched last month. And we understood that the services and insight that Evocati offers, especially in brand marketing and positioning, is actually going to better support Alira and their clients. So we signed an exclusive partnership last month. They're not a competitor anymore. They're a complement to what we do. And we just signed an agreement with G4S. They employ approximately 500,000 employees across the globe, and we're going to help build out their Veterans Employee Resource Group. Next slide. So how can we become the agency of record for Fortune 100 companies who want to target the military connected community? I think that's Evocati. I hope somebody asks me what that name means when we go to Q&A. I'm not sure if that's the last slide or if we have one more slide, Tony. Nope, that was it. I appreciate it. Sincerely appreciate everybody's time, and certainly look forward to the conversation that we're about to have. And also a shout out to my Bunker Lads VIR team for showing up today. I sincerely appreciate your support. You all are great. Thank you.
All right, great job, Barrett.
I have a question. What does Evocati mean?
Hey, I see. So your name says 1 Million Cups, but I don't know what your name is. Can you identify who you are?
Donnell Johns.
Got it, man. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Evocati is Latin for reservist. The Evocatus were the first professional reserve force in classic history. They were retired Roman legionnaires who really served at the leisure of the emperor. But in terms of looking at historically of a reserve force, the Evocatus in the Roman Empire were the first. And so that's what I was in the military. I was a reservist. I like to joke that I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps Reserve. I took a gap year in between my bachelor and master's degree to serve in Iraq. And really in coming back to school and understanding the intersection between the veteran community and higher education is where my passion was born. So when I was looking for a name for the company, I didn't want it to scream kind of military, but I kind of stumbled upon Evocati as the Latin for reservist, and that's how I selected it.
Cool. Russ, it's over to you.
All right. So I'm going to be taking over the Q&A moderation part of this.
Right.
If everybody in the group, if they have a question, down in the participants at the bottom of your screen, just click on the raise your hand icon. It's a little blue icon. First off, we're going to have Melinda, and then Talmar will be it right after that. So, Melinda.
So my starting question is, how do you get new business? Do you target specific companies, let's say in the top 100 companies from Fortune 100 companies? Are they referrals? Do you go to trade shows? How do you decide who you're going to go after for possible clients?
Okay, that's a fantastic question, Melinda. The short answer is it's all through referrals today. When we brought Lindsay on board, she's helping us develop a client acquisition strategy as well as an integrated marketing strategy. So we're going to start pushing in more revenue. More spending in outreach and ads. We do target sectors. We target the for-profit and higher education sector in earnest right now. Most of our referrals are coming from the for-profit and nonprofit sectors. No intention of going to trade shows, but that's really just a function of the pandemic. I'm certainly open to that. Really, it's about getting our branding and marketing out there. I can say this. We did decide to focus exclusively in terms of where our prospective client base is. We focus exclusively on LinkedIn. We purposefully do not have a Twitter and Facebook page. We like the functionality of LinkedIn, and that's where we've been for 2 years, and thus far it's been very effective at generating prospective referrals, usually about 1 per quarter, and we'd like to escalate that through targeted ads and custom content. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. All right. Next, we have Talmar, and then after that will be James Samuel.
Good morning, Barrett. Thanks so much for the presentation. It was fantastic. To your question very specifically, there was a lot of great content in there. I had one hiccup in trying to understand exactly what you did. And that's just when you say the word consulting, it's too big for people to understand and differentiate exactly what you do. So when you were talking about you guys do consulting and program managing and strategic marketing, I felt like strategic marketing was actually the thing that would stand out to this target market of Fortune 100 companies, if that's the primary result, which I think it is, that you offer. So one, be mindful about that. And then the second piece is that I also would like you to kind of hit more on the benefits. I mean, if we're talking about marketing to these companies, what do they get out of it? And I didn't hear any case studies about increasing market share in the veteran, in the military connected space, or increasing profitability or increasing engagement by, you know, percentages, numbers. I know it's hard for us all to create those spaces, but the more you can bring in those numbers, the faster Fortune 100 will be able to look at you and say, oh yeah, I want to have my connection to the military connected community because my company will benefit in X, Y, and Z way. And so don't forget to wrap that into your conversations, please.
Thank you for that. I know I'm going to go back on this recording and listen to that feedback again.
I'll try to type some of it up for you.
Thank you. So providing some of the numbers and data of what we see, especially in case studies, is what we're working on in earnest, especially as it relates to pushing out our marketing. I will certainly remember to include that in what we present.
You know, it's all about what's in it for me, right?
Right. And I'm trying to remember the first part of your question, though, because I wanted to.
Oh, the first part was when you first positioned Evocati, you were saying that you
consulting.
And I feel like that's
Yeah.
big. Your slide where your uniqueness, where you actually talk about the deliverables that you've done, that was very clear. And so I'd love for you guys to fold that in a little bit more if it's possible.
I want to, and to be honest with you, my background is in higher education, and I don't have a business degree, so I need to know the language to speak. And so this kind of feedback from you and the rest of the group is going to be really helpful. I'd agree with you, because when I tell people, well, I'm a consultant, and then they're like, well, what does that mean? Like, what specifically? So I want to narrow that focus again, especially as we're doing our integrated marketing strategy and reaching prospective clients, to kind of get to that kernel of truth of where we offer of the service.
Feel free to reach out and we can continue the conversation. Let's let you talk with others today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, we do have quite a few people lined up to ask you questions, Barrett. So next we have James, then Deb, Phyllis, and Manny.
Okay.
Thanks for us. Hey, Barrett, good morning. Well done. And happy Veterans Day again, brother.
Happy Veterans Day.
Hey, can you talk to us a little bit about your revenue streams, how you generate revenue, and then is there any kind of differentiation between you and your competitors in that process?
Hey, FYI, I just got a notice that the recording stopped, but if that's part of the, now we're back on. Okay. Revenue stream. So our clients pay us a flat fee based on a statement of work and project. Revenue varies. We have a specialized rate for for-profit and nonprofit and in higher education clients. What was the second half of the question, James?
Oh, thanks. Is there any like a differentiator with you and your competitors in that regard? Is a boutique provider, is that increased cost, or is it the same or decreased based on?
It's less because we have contracted. We do not have full-time employees. We have 1099s. And what we found is, especially within the consulting world, there is excess capacity from experts who can provide anywhere from 5 to 10 hours of work a week. We contract with them to do that, so we're able to offer our service at a more competitive price point than our competitors.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Very good. All right. Next up, we have Deb.
Good morning. Thanks very much for the presentation, Barrett. Question, can you give me an example of what you would do within higher education and what a good connection for you in higher education would be? I have a background in higher education, love to help you if I can. So just talk to me a little bit about what you do in that space.
Yeah, I got to warn you, we could probably nerd out on this for a long time, so I will be brief. I'll use an example from a previous client. They were the director of military affairs for a university system that included approximately 600,000 students in 12 campuses across the entire state. They contracted with us to conduct a market survey of the number of potential or prospective military connected students they could recruit and enroll on campus. They also contracted with us to develop out a marketing plan to help them attract those students. So if you know of a a veterans center director, if there is a chief financial officer, or any senior level administrator that has a passion for serving military veterans and wants to increase the number of those students, that's who we want to work with. That's who we want to help. And we can offer that that service. Thankfully for this client, the market survey research that we did helped them justify not only their continued funding in the new FY, but also additional funding in light of the pandemic, because we helped make the business case for recruiting student veterans to their campus.
Okay. Okay, great. I'll put some information in the chat box for you, but it sounds to me like this is actually a great time for you, because right now I would imagine that military would be, a lot of it might be online. And so a lot of schools are moving in that more forcefully in that direction. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, that's what
I appreciate that. I'll take you up on that. We have found a lot of opportunity in the pandemic, as unfortunate as it is, in terms of companies that want to make an impact, whether through social justice or corporate social responsibility. There seems to be a pivot towards that, and the veteran community is an area of opportunity. So we can help companies engage in there. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
All right. Next, we're going to have Phyllis, Manny, Jeff Engler, then Talmar. Phyllis.
Right, great, thanks. Good morning, Barrett. That was a great presentation. My question is about referrals. So you mentioned that your business comes primarily from referrals. And my question is, are referrals from existing clients? And are your clients the type of organizations that want to share you as a resource, or do they see you as a secret advantage over their competitors?
They see us as an advantage over competitors, and referrals come from other clients or our client base.
Great. All right. Next, we have Manny.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks. This is Barrett. Really good presentation. You know, it's really great that you fill that niche gap. So my questions are two questions. So why higher education, and what's your competition like?
Why higher education? It's my background. It's my area of expertise. That's the simplest explanation. We recognize that there's a gap in serving that community, and we see an opportunity there that's not being filled.
Okay, and the other question, and then I have a suggestion for you, is what's your competition like?
Our competition really resides in the nonprofit sector. And there's a handful. Student Veterans of America would be one. But more often than not, we see mission-focused nonprofits as our competitors.
Okay. So the suggestion I had was, you know, to increase your visibility, and, you know, having people come to you versus you always having to go chase people. And, you know, I know that's kind of the nature of things in the nonprofit world, but to just kind of, you know, lighten, quote unquote, lighten the load for you. Have you ever thought about attending career hiring events that are mostly virtual? And the reason I'm asking is that, you know, I know you're not looking to hire, but there are a lot of companies that attend those, right? And if they see you there, you know, with a quote unquote virtual booth, you know, it'll draw a lot of attention. Oh, we didn't know that this, you know, that there was a company that filled this gap, right? And, you know, they want to hire, a lot of companies, they want to hire military vets, right? But they don't know how to bridge that gap that you fill, number one. And number two, you actually provide a lot of, you know, it isn't just people, but, you know, a lot of services that you could help them out with, that they would be more than glad to go to, you know, a company such as yours and give you the business for. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes. And for 2021, we certainly have an intent to do more of that. It's a great suggestion. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, there are some that are out there, and then I'll shut up, that are actually federally oriented, if you want to focus in on those. A lot of them are quote unquote for cleared events for classified people, but you don't have to be. I mean, you yourself as a vendor or whatever, don't have to be, right? It doesn't mean you have to hire those people. It just means because a lot of those companies are looking for services like yours that don't require clearances. So I wouldn't cancel those out.
And if you know of any that we should be looking at, Manny, shoot me a chat or an email, and I'd be happy to take a look.
Yeah, sure. So I'm plugged into there. So be glad to help you.
Thank you.
Great. Deb and Phyllis, it still shows your hands are raised. Just want to make sure you already asked your questions, and if you're done, you can take the hand down. If not, I'll put you back in the list. So next we have Jeff Englander, Reggie Holmes, and then Tony will be following up.
Barrett, congratulations on a great presentation, but most importantly, thank you very much for your service to our country. I thank you. A quick comment, if I may. One, your term agency of record sounds very government-y. I would recommend if you're going after Fortune 100, you might want to rethink that. A suggestion would be strategic partner of record, because that's really what you want to be. Tell them, right? So I would recommend strategic partner of record or key supplier of record, something along that lines. But the term agency needs to be revisited, my recommendation. The second one is, do you offer standard services, something that you have a standard statement of work, so you offer these 5 things, or is everything you do custom work?
First off, thank you. It's my privilege to serve. Second off, regarding agency of record, I hear you loud and clear. Everything is on the table as far as how we present ourselves, and I will certainly take that into consideration. To the third part, it is customized right now, but what we're seeking to do is take some of the content that we have, for example, taking some of our content and selling it online as courses or classes, and developing diversifying our revenue stream that way. But as it stands today, the work and services that we offer are all specialized with clients.
The reason why I suggested some standard offerings is that sometimes many companies are looking for something that has worked before, whatever it may be. Many companies don't want to be the first and fill in the blank after the word first. But if you'd say, hey, we've already done this for 4 other companies, whatever this is, sometimes it's actually easier to sell something and to get in the door. So sometimes standard offerings is a good door opening, and then you could do custom work thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you. Good suggestion.
I'll put these in the chat.
Please.
That was good stuff, Jeff. All right, next we have Reggie Holmes.
Good morning, Barrett. Thank you for your service. Great presentation. My question was about if your company has plans to do any sort of virtual events that help to communicate the benefit of what you do and where you're positioned. I think that when I think about military connected community, I think about obviously those that serve, but also their families. And I know that there are a number of people who are spouses of those who serve, and they are very much involved in starting businesses and things like that as well. And they, move around. So you're really talking about a community that's not centralized in one place. It's throughout the country, and everywhere they go, they bring skills, they bring knowledge that benefit and impact the communities around them. So I think that one, making sure that when you talk about military connected community, people understand that it's not just those that serve, but also their families as well. And then the idea behind doing events would be to attract these people that work in these organizations to something that's short but very impactful and really clearly communicates the benefit of this network of people that you're being able to connect them with. I think that, as you think about growing beyond just the referral base, there really needs to be a quick, clear way for them to get the point and understand the benefit of your approach and why they should partner with you. So that's one idea. And people, we're used to virtual events now, so I don't think it's a hard sell to get people to come to something that's short, but very impactful, lots of great information, and then they can go and make a decision. So
it's a great suggestion, Reggie. I think you may be reading my mind. So we do have plans in 2021 as part of our integrated marketing strategy to really build out a knowledge community around the very topics that you've said, to include 3 to 4 minute video features on those topics, as well as video interviews and webinars. Thank you for that suggestion.
Great. All right, next we have Tony Barnett.
Barrett, let me ask you a quick question. How many 1099s do you currently have in your pool of talent?
5.
Okay, 5. Have you instituted a profit sharing, referral sharing program with them, where what they do is they refer in other companies that might be potential contacts for opportunities?
Yes.
Okay, because that, for what you're working on and what you're doing is probably a very, well, I don't want to repeat myself, but a nice flow of information, because if they're incentivized, the one thing I know about military personnel and veterans is because of their training, they are the most motivated, most passionate people when it comes to getting things done. And when they know that there's a little bit coming back to them from just, from a little bit of effort on their side, then it all starts flowing in. And having that kind of a program going where they are, they're not just promoted within the company, but also, working to sit there and build the business flow in, that's a win-win for you and everybody in the whole crew.
Thank you. That's a great suggestion.
All right. Looks like everybody's asked a bunch of questions. Is there any other follow-ups anybody have for Barrett? Oh, Jeff.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. One other quick one, if I could. Could you give us a summary example of something you've already done for a Fortune 100 company? Kind of like so this way I can understand better what you do in the private sector.
We're in the process of building out the programmatic needs and scheduling for a Veterans Employee Resource Group for Zoom.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Well, it looks like over in the Zoom chat, everybody's been posting a lot of information for you. So like Manny put in the information for all the hiring events that are taking place right now for the COVID events. So there's lots of good information here, Barrett, for you. Looks like Manny has another question, and so does Rosemarie and Talmar. Let's go in that order. Manny, Rosemarie, Talmar.
Great, thanks. I forgot my question. Go ahead and put me at the back of the list.
All right, yeah. We'll do Rosemarie next.
All right, thanks. Barrett, thank you first for your service. Thanks to all the veterans today. Great presentation. Thanks for posing this to this group. The one thing I haven't heard that I might recommend is, although you're looking at some of the big consulting firms as, I'll call them co-opetition, you might want to think about working with them in a referral sense. There are jobs they won't take because they're not in line with their partner requirements. And if you set up a referral program with them, they may be willing to send you business that they can't handle for whatever reason. Maybe the job is too small, or it's out of their sphere of expertise, or whatever. The other thing I might recommend is, and there's a few folks here that can help you with it, do some I'll call it thought leadership work and podcasts that you can use in your social media, especially LinkedIn, and some articles that will place you in a position of being top of mind when you do your LinkedIn follow-ups, so that people say, oh yeah, I know about these guys. They, this company does X, Y, and Z. I read the article, I heard the podcast. This sounds good.
Those are two great suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Talmar is next.
I'll get right back. Sorry, I have an opinion all the time and I apologize. But you did ask, so now we'll tell. I love all the information, and there's been a lot of great conversation and talk today and ideas. And I think the only thing that sends up a little bit of a warning flag for me is that I hear that where you guys might be in a stage of, because we can, we say yes. And I don't know if you know what I mean by that is, because you can build an employee engagement program, because you can build a marketing strategy, because you can do research in this area, and you're relying on the commonality of the military connected community to be your thing, as as long as it's this, we can do it. I think it's really hurting your opportunity to get traction. And I know somebody else, and I apologize, I forgot who it was, mentioned that it is as an issue. I do believe you guys can do all these things, but I think that the people that are looking for employee engagement, and the people that are looking to increase their market share, and the people that are looking for information or program management, such diverse markets, I'm worried you're going to spin your wheels trying to be in front of all of them because you could. So if it's on your agenda, or maybe it could be on your agenda, to really get into some strategic planning with your advisory board or your lead people, and really get focused on one area, I think that's the thing that can, not that you can't deliver the others, just like I said, get in the door. Whoever said it, was like, get in the door. And it's really diverse. You're going to have a really hard time communicating to all those different markets.
That's right on point. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So find your favorite thing, your favorite kind of client, the favorite kind of product that you do, and build from there. I mean, it would be helpful if that was a profitable one too.
Yes, it would. Thank you.
Manny, did you ever figure out what you were thinking?
Yeah, thanks for giving me a couple of minutes. Man, I'm having a lot of senior moments. So, are you only servicing companies or looking for clients in the DMV or specifically Northern Virginia, or do you have the ability to be national?
We have the ability to be national, but obviously that work would be done virtually. Most of our clients have come from the DMV, however.
Okay. And have you ever thought about like the lower non-higher education type of approach? Because, so I'll give you an example. One of my clients is actually a commercial general contractor. Okay. They would love to, be more involved in the vet area, right? Hiring vets, using vets for some of their internal needs, things like that. So there's a big need out there. So, have you thought about that? So that was my question.
We have not, but we are certainly open to considering that, especially.
Yeah, because that's a lot of missed opportunity out there. I mean, now I remember the other question I was going to ask is because of COVID, right? A lot of the, I don't know what you found, but on my end, the higher education type of organizations are actually cutting back. But, in the blue collar areas, those needs are still happening. I mean, buildings still got to be maintained, right? Electrical contractors, they're still having problems with, buildings have electrical issues, homes have electrical issues. Those markets are surviving pretty well.
They are, and the higher education landscape, while changing, is actually getting more competitive, and that's where we can come in and help and take advantage of that. But it's a fantastic suggestion.
Yeah, I think I'll shut. I just think you're leaving a lot of money on the table there. Because I made the same mistake. I was dealing more with lawyers and doctors and accountants and things like that. And this opportunity with this general contractor and also an electrical contracting company kind of fell in my lap. And I was like, oh my God, this is, you know, established companies. These aren't like, you know, guys that are just working out of their house. I mean, they have like real back offices and operations and needs and, you know, so anyway, I'll shut up.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have Melinda.
So I've got a couple of big questions that tie together, and I want to start with my big idea, which is to go after agencies, and I mean marketing agencies, advertising agencies, digital agencies, PR agencies, and find out, maybe through doing a quick market research survey to who's ever in charge of creative or media in these agencies, are any of your clients trying to reach the military target audience? And that would give you a real fast track into businesses where you can help them build campaigns around things that they really want to do to reach the military community. And one of the ways you can do that too would be through, you said you're using LinkedIn a lot, and LinkedIn is a really great tool that you could actually put in there, marketing agencies, promotion agencies, advertising agency, or whatever you might get, and you could get a whole bunch of agencies that may not be on your radar. The other place to get it would be in the top 100 agencies that you would find in Ad Age or Brand Week and companies, you know, publications, online publications like that. And then you can become the agency behind the big agency who is out there doing all the work for them. And I think it's low hanging fruit because especially now, and with more and more people joining the military and the military family growing, there are dollars out there that they spend, that you guys spend, that are untouched. And reaching out to that target audience, you will get a lot of ROI from it. The other thing I wanted to suggest is, with some of the things that you might want to do with research and putting a few questions out on LinkedIn or wherever it might be, or offer white papers, maybe, and a landing page where they can get more information. Throw a white paper in front of someone so that they can learn a little bit more, and a landing page, and then ask them if they would like to have continual, you know, more information. That might be really helpful. And the other thing I was thinking about is, maybe you even want to, you've got an ambassador program right now. You might want to come up with some LinkedIn ambassadors. And these might be people that you don't know or people that you do know that have really strong connections and are leaders on LinkedIn.
Those are 3 really great suggestions. Thank you.
All right. And then we have one final question from Donnell Johns.
Barrett, thank you first of all for being our presenter today at 1 Million Cups. Number one on Veterans Day, so thanks to all the veterans that decided to dial in today and support you and support 1 Million Cups. But thank you for taking time to share your story with our community. The question that I have for you, this is a hard one. I don't know how you're going to answer this question, but hopefully you answer it very well. What can our 1 Million Cups community do for you?
You can provide your honest critique and don't ever stop. Because like I said, I don't have a business background, and I need your help and support in putting the best foot forward for Evocati, because we really and truly do believe in our mission and who we serve, and we have a heart and passion for this. So don't stop. Today's feedback was helpful beyond measure. It's a great question. Thank you.
Are you familiar with Michael Quinn?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of space on LinkedIn to follow his lead in educating people on our community, and then also educating our community. So he built a great blueprint on how to support our community, and then support those organizations that want to get in touch with our community. I would say just follow his lead. But thank you again for your presentation. I'm going to turn this back over to Melinda. And, thank you everybody for coming out. Let's give Barrett a round of applause.
Thank you all.
Next slide, please. Next week, we have Eddie Gleason, who represents Patrick Gleason Consulting. And he's an independent recovery consultant specializing in substance misuse, mental health, and eating disorders. Eddie's niche, and Eddie is in his early 20s and very focused on this. He has become an advocate, kind of a poster boy, which I like to say, but for the under 30, 40 marketplace. There are a lot of young people that have these challenges because they party a lot and they don't know when to stop. And he wants to pay it forward by saving lives and serving young adults that need help. Next slide, please. Our presenter schedule then is the rest of November. The rest of the program, or rest of November, I'm sorry. This recording keeps going on and off, sorry. There will be no meeting on Thanksgiving. And then in January, we've got Sharing Solace. And we actually are looking for speakers for the rest of the month. Next slide, please. Upcoming events. First, I want to promote Jen Dalton's How to Build Your Brand and Business Through LinkedIn. She's got that today. It's a free event. It's from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I hope that a lot of us can support her by being there. Also, today, for some reason, today is a really big day. Or I'm sorry, that's Thursday, not today. Tomorrow, also at that same time, we have Financing Your Small Business, and that's through the Central Fairfax Chamber. They also have another event from 12 to 1:15, and that's a really good one. It's Virginia Green Initiative. So if you've got any green initiatives that you or your clients are using, that may be worth checking out. And then there is an event on Saturday called Celebrating Veterans and the Arts, a virtual green concert, and that's at Halton Center. Next slide, please. Thank you all for attending. Please continue to network with everyone. Make sure you put your contact information into the chat. And if you need any help, please